Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we are playing with some of the new cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed. This is going to be specifically Scarblade's Malice in Black Sack. So for a black mana, this is an instant. Target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink, and when that creature dies this turn, you create a 2/2 green and black elf creature token. I'm not 100% sure this card is going to be very good, but I figured we would try it out. Death Touch can be pretty decent because we have a lot of fodder creatures that can chump block giant creatures, which can then trade for them. Lifelink can be really good if we're against some sort of burn deck, throwing it on any of our growers to gain 8 or more life, maybe. And just dying into a 2/2 can be pretty relevant. A 2/2 can attack decently, and also can just be another creature to sacrifice to take up our numbers. Because we're playing this, I wanted to try out Fear of Lost Teeth. This is a 1/1 for 1. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target and you gain 1 life. If you have cast Scarblade's Malice on this creature and then it blocks, Death Touches down a creature, then it gets to ping another creature with Death Touch as well, taking out 2 creatures. Not to mention you'll gain lifelink on that 1 damage as well, in addition to gaining the 1 life. So just some kind of interesting synergies there that I figured if we're going to try to make Scarblade's Malice work, might as well go all the way. Other than that, we're doing some pretty standard stuff. Carrion Feeders, Mortician Beetles, Bloodthorn Vampires, and Sadistic Glees. And then our fodder is, in addition to the 4 Lost Teeth, Infestation Sage, Linkbreaker, Shambler. Then we're playing a Cursed Marauder, some Supernatural Staminas, of course, Rite of Consumption, and Village Rites. Sideboard is pretty much standard as well. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. We are on the play here, and the sand looks okay. Gonna give it a try. We need more lands, but the Village Rites should help with that. Swamp and Linkbreaker, then we'll pass. And we're against Elves or Ramp, it looks like. So with the Linkbreaker, we'll draw 2. We do hit a Swamp, and I think I'm going to play the Fear of Lost Teeth here. If we don't get another land, then this allows us to still just next turn play a Vampire and pick off the Arbor Elf. Arbor Elf can definitely do some damage this turn, but keeping them off of the Arbor Elf for the following turn could be pretty good. Assuming we don't just get Ponza'd here. Yep, there's an Acid Moss. So I would love to get a Swamp, obviously. Perfect. We'll attack for 2. And we'll play the Vampire. We're going to pick off the Arbor Elf right away so that they don't get extra mana. Even though obviously we don't really get to keep the pump, I think it's worth just killing the Arbor Elf there. They do Thermokarst to land. Luckily, getting down the Vampire already gives us a pretty decent leg up. If we lose our last land, we're going to be in a tough spot though. I think we just play the Nested Shambler. I think this is our best play if we lose our land and have nothing to play. Because I'm going to sack the Shambler, get a couple squirrels, and if they just spend next turn blowing up our land, at least we can hit for some decent damage every turn. They have an Evolution Witness, which could get back their Arbor Elf. That's it right now. Looks like they are going to do that though, adapting. Play the Elf, and we get a land. Okay, so we're not in a bad spot here. We get to play a Beetle and a Sage. So if we knew that they weren't going to blow up our land and that we were going to draw another one, I would have played the Beetle last turn so that it could start growing and already be attacking, but this is still not bad. They're going to block the Vampire here. And I'll sack a couple to keep it alive. Hit for 3. Now they have an Annoyed Altasaur into a Utopia Sprawl. Choosing green. So it looks like they're not even playing red at all for Writhing Chrysalis or something, just mono green. And they ram through on the Vampire. I had F6'd there, so the Vampire just died, but honestly we have another Vampire in hand I probably wouldn't have sacrificed to keep it alive anyway, so that's okay. Here though, we can play all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beetle could be a 10/10, so they might block, but then I kind of lose a lot of power from the Vampire not attacking. I think we'll just pass this turn. They have another Annoyed Altasaur into a ram through on the Vampire again. Oh, of course I should have sacrificed the Vampire to itself before because I would have taken no damage and grown our Beetle. So that was still a mistake, F6ing there. I have to sacrifice 3 creatures to keep it alive. Then our Beetle gets pretty big. Yeah, I guess we will. Double ram through is definitely a bit annoying. So we'll take 6 damage. Pass here. They're going to attack? Okay. If they attacked, I could just sack one more thing to the Beetle and block with it. Okay, another Beetle, a little late, but that's okay. If I attack with this, they'll probably block with both, and that's not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we just pass here. Avenging Hunter. They attack with 2 Altasaurs. This is crazy. I guess if I want to Vampire to block 1, I have to sacrifice the Beetle and 2 other insects. Then I just have 1 big Beetle, but I can also just eat one of these for sacrificing 1. Also, they've attacked with their Reachers. I don't know. I think I just block here. Arbor Elf. So they have like a Bannerhide Crew Shock. Give it a couple counters. Or they have another Ram Through. Well, I'm going to sacrifice 1 and we'll see what they have. It is a Crew Shock. So I could trade here. Probably put 2 more counters on. Sacrificing this and this. And then I can Insect take the initiative. We go to 10, block, take 7. I think I need to keep a big creature for if we get a Rite of Consumption. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a huge mistake earlier with that ram through, and that has made things quite a bit harder. Now I kind of wish I was blocking this Altasaur with the vampire, but I think we keep the insect, strangely. We get a swamp here, take the initiative. They scavenge onto the Altasaur, which means I have to trade here. I take 1, 2, 3, 8 if they attack with everything, although they probably don't. They probably just attack with these two. No, I guess that makes some sense. Block here, and then I'm just going to die, I think. We get a nested Shambler. That's not going to do it. Pretty close. So they're Ponza, Ram. I don't know, it's a cut. I think vampires actually are a little rough here. I've been trying to cut vampires a little bit more often than fodder recently. Marauders are decent, but maybe not quite what we need. Especially because vampires are more expensive, and if they blow up our lands and we have to are stuck on one, we'll obviously want to have more 1-drops. Yeah, this hand's pretty decent. If we only have 1 land and then we get Ponza'd, we're going to lose. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I start with the Carrion Feeder, and then if they play an Arbor Elf, I can Fear of Lost Teeth it right away. Nice. Swamp would also be fantastic, obviously, but we didn't hit that, but we're definitely going to kill the Arbor Elf. Hit for 2. They play Utopia Sprawl with no land drop, it looks like. Okay. If they draw a forest and can Thermokarst us, would I prefer to have a Beetle down or like a Shambler? Probably the Shambler. And if they don't Thermokarst us, this still isn't that bad because I can Stamina the Shambler. Hit for a bunch. They Rumble. Okay. Feed the Clan, Ram through. They're going to take a forest, I assume. They do. Wild Growth. Alright, Swamp's great. That's exactly what we wanted. Now we can play a Beetle and go for the Stamina. So now we'll just have 2 guys that can be really big, plus just a wide board. They don't block. We'll Stamina here, hit for 5, and sacrifice. Pass. They have a Banner Hide, and they probably have a Ram through or something we need to be worried about. Conscious of, at least. But if we Rite of Consumption, or if we attack with everything and then Rite of Consumption, we should be able to win. Yeah, I think so. I guess they could double up trying to kill like a Carrion Feeder or something, but then we just make a giant Beetle. That's probably fine. Block like this. So I could just sack the Beetle to the feeder. They take 4 down to 7. This is a 4/4, and then I sacrifice, and then we Rite of Consumption them. I think that's the way to do it. Sack the Beetle. If they try to kill the feeder here, then we can just grow it a couple. Feed the Clan to gain 10 life. Sure. So we're not going to be able to Rite a Consumption after all. That's fine. It's a little bad that we sack the Beetle in this case, but actually we get to put the Sadistically on the Shambler, play a Link Breaker, and this is basically just another Beetle that makes 1,000,000 squirrels when it dies. So that's okay. They're going to Thermokarst to land, and then Ram through on the Shambler, but we're going to grow it out of range. Every squirrel we sacrifice can be a squirrel coming out of it, so we don't even need to feel bad about losing them all, and then they concede. Yeah. So we just have 2 giant creatures here. Even without the Rite of Consumption, we can attack for like 15-ish, and then just they're going to lose probably the next turn. All right, here we have a very non-traditional hand, with one I would generally get rid of in a heartbeat, but we do finally have the Scarblade's Malice plus Fear of Lost Teeth, which can be a decent combo. Tragic Slips. We just have a lot of removal. I don't think this is keepable, unfortunately. I do want to see those cards in action. And as much as I do, I think the Scarblade's Malice is the worst card here. We're keeping a 1-lander. Our opponent mulliganed to 5, so hopefully we won't get Ponza'd on schedule. I mean, if we lose our land like on their turn 2, we're just going to probably lose if we don't draw another. Alright, we got the Fear of Lost Teeth, so I'm going to play that so that if we don't lose our land, we can Village Rites, pick off the Arbor Elf. They have a Utopia Sprawl into Repurposer. Not the worst it could be. And another Arbor Elf. Okay. And we get a Swamp. That's actually great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a lot of mana. So I'm actually going to play Beetle Feeder now and just sacrifice this to pick off one of the Arbor Elves. They still have a lot of mana, but this does make them have only 6, which means if they top deck an Altasaur, they can't cast it, which is a pretty big deal. They're attacking with Repurposer. I'll take 3. And they just have a Sprawl. Link Breaker. I think we just play 2 Link Breakers and just start attacking. These guys can each be 6/6s now. If they don't block, then I'll probably make them 4/4s, leaving the Mercenaries around. They do block one of them. Still think I want to turn these into Mercenaries. So we'll hit them for 4. They do still have 7 mana now for an Altasaur. But we win the match. They had a rough mulligan, and we had a pretty decent start. Obviously getting a little lucky finding our second Swamp right away.
You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to
Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. This hand is unkeepable. This hand's not great, but we're down to 6. We get rid of a swamp. We just have a vampire. I think we'll give it a try. We do also have the Scarblade's Malice this time. Manor Gate. So we're against black-green gates, which could mean Fog, Campfire, and Rot Farm. Fog is particularly a rough matchup in general, but especially against Vampire because we have to sack a bunch of stuff to actually deal enough damage, and then they fog us, and then we kind of lose. Also, Scarblade's Malice is only really going to be relevant in this match for making a 2-2. I might very well just cash these both in to make 2-2s off this Link Breaker. Kind of think that's the way to do it here. Campfire and Spell Bomb. Yeah, we're just getting so many lands. Yeah, not the best way we want to see this, but we're going to just cast 2 of these, sacrifice, and make a couple 2/2s. Hit for 3. I mean, here it's honestly not terrible. Now we have a clock of 6 damage a turn. They're missing a land drop, it looks like, which is pretty good for us. We have a Sage. Might as well pump with the Mercenary, because if they have like a Tangle, then this will be able to attack. Moment's Peace. Campfire. There's a land drop. Sadistic Glee. Guess I put that on a Vampire. Yeah, I think I put it on the Vampire for a Rite of Consumption. Staying with the team. Respite. They gain a life for each attacking creature, sure. That's the turn. Lembas, Bajuka Bog, Stamina. We'll just try to hit for 7, I guess. We weren't going to be able to deal lethal there regardless, and even if we did, they had 2 mana open. They could very easily have a fog of some sort. Wellspring, pass. Cursed Marauder is definitely a waste. I think I might as well just cast it to grow the Vampire. Get an extra damage, I guess, here. Off the, like, an extra power. I don't know. Swing for 7. They'll take it. Viscerator's Insight. Weather the Storm to gain 9. There's a Rite of Consumption. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's not quite lethal. I knew I should use the stamina on the Sage when it was around, because now I don't have a double body creature. Moment's Peace. Yeah, as soon as I can hit them for, like, if I just get enough creatures, or if I can hit them for, you know, another, like, 7 damage or whatever, we can probably get them with the Rite of Consumption. Kind of tough, though. Carrion Feeder. Pump on the Vampire. Swing with the team. Activate Campfire. We take 10. So we can get the Vampire up to 17, but they have double Lembas up, not to mention potentially like a Moment's Peace, so I don't think it's worth going for. But if they tap lowish next turn, like, and then go for a Fog that taps them out, then we could win off the Rite of Consumption. Unless they have like a Crypt Rats here, which would be unfortunate. I mean, Vampire can still grow. Vampire grows just as much as the feeder permanently with the Sadistically on it, so I should just go into that. If they go for Crypt Rats here. Toxin Analysis. If that resolves, we lose. So I'm gonna Stamina on the Marauder, sack it so it comes back and it kills the Crypt Rats before the Toxin goes off. If they have another Toxin, then we just lose. They'll activate for 1 here. Let's see. This is kind of complicated. So if the Cursed Marauder comes back and then they have a way to, like, kill it, although now the Crypt Rats should be dead by the time, but like then it would theoretically kill the Vampire, and that seems bad. I could just let this go off. It kills these 3, but it doesn't actually kill this these elf tokens because they're 2/2s. This grows still just the same. Then this comes back. I think that's fine, actually. Might be a bit risky, but we're gonna give it a go. Oh, they can activate it again? I thought they passed priority. Shouldn't that mean that if they pass priority that it resolves? Whatever. They're going to activate a couple more times. So be it. Now I might as well... I could keep the feeder around, but we're trying to go all in on one creature. Oh, but by sacrificing to this fodder, or this feeder, we actually get counters on both, because this is a beetle. I keep forgetting. The Vampire is a beetle right now, so let's just do this. Then we let 1 damage go off, kill the Crypt Rats. Then we sack the Elves, which are going to die. Then the damage goes off. Marauder returns, sacrificing itself, growing. Okay. I mean, that was honestly pretty good for us. I assume they'll have a Fog, but if they didn't, we could win here. Moment's Peace. I could sacrifice this and hit for 12. That's not going to work. Colony Garden. Village Rights. That's a bit unfortunate that we lost all our fodder creatures. But swing. They're going to Eviscerator's Insight this. Grow the Vamp. Hit for 5. I could go up to 13 and then Village Rights, or Right of Consumption, but they have a Lembas and a Campfire, so that's not going to do it. They're going to Heap Gate. Wellspring. Pass. Stamina. Just going to attack with a Vampire. Ugh. It's tough if they tangle. It's pretty annoying, but I'd actually rather force them to have it, well, to use it. Then again, if I only attack with a Vampire and they take 10, they might want to like take 10 and then shuffle the stuff back in with the Campfire. Interesting. If they take 10 so that they don't have to use up a Fog and then I write a Consumption for lethal, that might catch them off guard. Sack the Lembas. Lembas. Black Dragon Gate. Just waiting for some fodder here. Attack for a bunch. There's the Tangle. So here I think I'm going to Village Rights the Carrion Feeder to try to find something else. I could Stamina it first. I don't know if that's worth it. I think we're going to say no. Just hope to draw something. Infestation Sage is something. They could get up to 23 life. It's hard for me to beat that. And if they have like a Moment's Peace, it's really bad. Like the moment that I throw the Vampire, it's either I win or I lose. So obviously we got to make sure it's as likely for me to win as possible. There's a Weather the Storm. 32. Right. Plus this just doesn't untap. It's Stamina this for an extra guy. It's only attacking for 2. I think I'd rather save it in case we get a Shambling Ghast. Not a Shambling Ghast, a Nested Shambler. You know what I'm talking about. Attack for 1. Village Rights this guy. Fear of Lost Teeth. Well, I took a chance not casting the Stamina on the Sage, and it did not quite pay off. Bargain a Lembas. Bargain another Lembas. And make some treasures. And Weather the Storm. Spellbomb. Wellspring. Insight the Wellspring. They pass. Another Right of Consumption. Does not do too much at the moment, not unless we get like a Beetle or something. I mean, they have a lot of life, but honestly, like, we just hit for 14. That's not bad at all. Don't think we're in a great spot, but I don't think we've fully lost yet. There's a Crypt Rats. They have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 black. If I did that math right, I'm like, they were like 1 short of killing me. Yep, they just realized. I would love for them to just do that because they would take damage. My Vampire would survive, and then I'd just kill them. Not to mention I can gain 1 life off this Fear of Lost Teeth, which actually could be relevant. So they're going to map onto the Crypt Rats. Sure. Even if it gets a counter, it's still going to die to this Fear of Lost Teeth. So I'm not too worried about it. They bin a Wellspring. Now they deal damage to everything. If I Stamina the Fear of Lost Teeth, then they respond by activating it, then they just kill it itself. But it's dying either way. I think we just let it happen. Although I guess they get priority again. But I'll ping the Crypt Rats. Oh, right. But now they can activate it for a bunch. So I was supposed to sacrifice those to grow this, because I forgot that they can just kill it in this turn. Yeah. If they go all in, then I can Stamina the Vampire and it'll come back, but it's going to be much smaller. So that was a mistake. 12. Stamina onto this guy. Sure. Yeah, I was obviously supposed to sacrifice them just to grow it out of range. They still could have responded. Yeah. No, that was bad. They have a Moment's Peace. Sure. Nested Shambler. If it was a Nested Shambler, that would legitimately be very, very good. Like, if it was a Shambler, then I could do 6, 13. I still couldn't win, but I could, like, almost get there. We're at 4, so if they have a way to get a Crypt Rats back, we will lose. And we've held on pretty well, considering this is a really terrible matchup for us. Carrion Feeder, swing for 2. They're going to make some more treasures. They're going to pass. Scarblade's Malice can make a 2-2. I'd probably prefer a 2-2 just for the damage, so sure, we'll do this. And then hit for an extra... I guess we should go in on the Feeder, in which case it's only 1 extra damage, so I should have just let it go because I would have had lifelink. Whatever. It's fine. We'll gain 2 life off of this. Make a 2-2, hit for 3. I'm trying to hold the Stamina for something that's a little bit better than like a Fear of Lost Teeth. Moment's Peace, the 3 damage. Sure. You got. Make some treasures. Play a Wellspring. Play a Lembas. Basilisk Gate. Crypt Rats. I don't think the gate is necessary when you just have the Crypt Rats for lethal. But that's fine. Alright. I definitely didn't make the right play with that Vampire. I'm pretty sure it would not have mattered. We do get Spellbomb, Rotten Reunions, and bunch of Mesmeric Fiends. Take out our removal. Fear of Lost Teeth actually was relevant to get rid of the Death Touch, so I actually keep those probably, and I get rid of these. The Malices, I mean, they just don't do much here. The 2-2s were actually kind of relevant for a little bit, but I still think they could have been just better creatures. Maybe we do cut a couple of the Fear of Lost Teeth. Well, we'll give this a try. Definitely missing a Carrion Feeder, but a lot of card draw to find it. Start with a Beetle, and another Beetle. Okay. I was gonna play Linkbreaker and sack right away, but I guess I'll play a Beetle and Linkbreaker here, and then sack next turn. Campfire. Vampire. Well, let's sacrifice this, see what we get. Draw 2. Gonna Village Rites the Mercenary, 2. We hit a swamp. Now I can Shambler, attack for 6, and then next turn I can Vampire Stamina, which means Shambler's gonna be 6 secs. So, I mean, we could definitely have lethal, but obviously they have fog. But let's put down a Fear of Lost Teeth to prevent them from having a Crypt Rats with Death Touch. Just going to deal 7 and pass. I could have forced the fog there, but it kind of feels like maybe just leave it. I don't know. Weather the Storm. Link Breaker. We're at 6, 7, 8, 9. They will tangle. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have attacked with everything. I still get to Stamina the Shambler and then attack for like 5 with a bunch of guys, but I probably should have left back like our Vampire. Usually I'm good about that, and I just kind of forgot this time. Stamina on the Shambler. Sacrifice that. Attack for 5. Like, I should alternate attacking with the Beetles and attacking with the Vampire. They activate Campfire and then sack it to the Insight. Looking for some more cards. Colony Garden, Lembas. Probably going to sack the Fear of Lost Teeth to take out the plant. It's just, if I don't, the plant throws off our ability to present lethal. But if I do that and then they get a Crypt Rats with Death Touch, then I lose. So I guess I probably shouldn't do that. We just got a Vampire, actually, so let's attack with everything. And if they tangle again, I have a Vampire. This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sure, put him down to 2. Play another Vampire. I wish I had the Stamina here, because if I did, I could kill them with the Fear of Lost Teeth, because it just does a damage to any target. Unfortunately, we do not. I'm just going to attack with these two. If they have like a respite, I really don't want them gaining a ton of life. Yeah, there's the Moment's Peace. And we'll pass. I think now is probably a good enough time to start sandbagging lands, or, well, lands, but also Shamblers and stuff, like fodder that I don't need to deploy. Doesn't do too much if I do. The rest is fine. I wouldn't mind one of my Mesmeric Fiends for some hand attack, though. Lembas, Scry at the bottom. Rite of Consumption. That should probably be lethal. We force him to tap out here, like the Flashback Moment's Piece, and then I can write for lethal. Because that only prevents, let's just reread, I already know how this works, but prevent all combat damage. So let's just write a consumption, throw a beetle at them. Alright, we got that one. They were stuck on mana for a little while, which helped quite a bit. But since they let themselves get so low, I was hoping that like stamina on the Fear of Lost Teeth would have gotten them. But I'm happy to get there with the Rite of Consumption, obviously. This hand seems pretty decent. Carrying Feeder into Fiend gets the Lay of the Land. We might not even do that if we want to just, like, Glee Sage, just to have one big guy attacking first. Spellbomb, Rot Farm. Yeah, I think we will do this. I really wish we were not drawing these lands. This is annoying. I like, this is the most aggressive way of doing this, and also it plays around duress. If they duress us, I'd want the statistically to be on the field. Whereas if we did it the other way, I mean, I could take a duress, but I don't want to do that. This applies the most pressure, so they might have to start fogging pretty quickly. All right, we're gonna Fiend and then Village Rites. See what we can steal here. A Moment's Peace in response. Okay, draw 2, not bad. Weather the Storm or lead the Stampede. I'm gonna take the Lembas because it's their card draw. No need to attack. Have Manorgate. I'm not gonna Fiend. I probably should have played some of these guys first, but whatever. If they want to take 6, that's fine. They chump, grows our guy. I'm not gonna Fiend right now because they might only have Weather the Storm. I guess I am playing 2 guys, letting them weather for a good amount of life, but I don't know. 9 is not the end of the world. Black Dragon Gate. And I'd rather Fiend when they have more other cards, potential other cards. I think we attack first. This might make it so they flashback Moment's Peace, and then I can Fiend from their hand if they have something else to play. Whereas if I did the Fiend first, they might have played like a Fog from hand, is my thought process. Moment's Peace, for example, that was very nice. So if we'd gone for that, they would have obviously Moment's Peaced from hand, and then they would have 2 more Fogs. And now they're in a kind of tough spot. We have about a 2-turn clock. They have to use the Spellbomb out of desperation. Another Spellbomb. Play a Swamp over the Manorgate. That's interesting. Rite of Consumption's a pretty good draw. Currently we're doing 12 damage. So I think we deal 12. If I deal 12, then I try to Rite of Consumption. They only have 1 unknown, but if it's a Moment's Peace, or not Moment's Peace, if it's a Weather the Storm, then they'll survive. I could sacrifice and go more all in. I think I just deal them the 12 here. If they get a Duress, it's really bad to not use it. Ugh. If I sacrifice, I could throw for 13. They would have to have a Weather the Storm. I think that's the only thing gaining them life from hand. That would have had to be their 1 draw, or they could draw it off of the Spellbomb. Or I could sacrifice 1, 2, no, I don't have enough to make the Vampire big enough. You know, I think you just have to make them have it. I'm gonna sacrifice these. Even if they have the Weather the Storm, it doesn't, Like, it keeps them alive for a turn. Hopefully it's not longer than that. But I think we just go for the Rite of Consumption, hope for the best. They have a Fanatical Offering to draw off the Spellbomb, but they can't really afford to pay for that because they need to draw into the Weather and be able to cast it, which is exactly why they played the Swamp. That makes sense. But we end up getting there. Very nice. All right, on the play, decent hand. Just got to hit some more lands. Story of my life. Utopia Sprawl. Choosing... They haven't chosen yet. Choosing white. Okay. That might mean Bogles, in which case we've gotten rid of some of our Accursed Marauders lately, so could be tough. But the Death Touch from... No land is really unfortunate. The Death Touch from the Scarblade's Malice could be pretty relevant. Malevolent Rumble doesn't hit a land, but finds a Gladecover Scout, or pretty much anything they want. Pretty good variety here. They take the Scout, play a Forest, and play it. We get a Cursed Marauder. Okay, we just need the land for it. Kind of a tough call. I'm going to play the Fear of Lost Teeth. If we're able to Marauder away the Gladecover Scout, but the spawn is still around, they could go up in on that. So honestly, like, jumping and killing the spawn could be relevant, is my thought process. Whereas, I mean, putting these down doesn't do too much different, I think, at the moment. Like, they're just chump blockers. I don't know. They play Abundant Growth. They sack the spawn, so that doesn't seem relevant. Oh, well, never mind. They play another Rumble. They find Ancestral Mask, and that's what they take. They could cast it right now. If they do, I'd probably chump block while they don't have Trample. Yep, and they go for it. Oh yeah, +7/+7 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. Fear of Lost Teeth is an enchantment creature. We are definitely jumping. Get this out of here. Ping them for 1. We get Scarblade's Malice. Oh my god. So I can just not play anything. I mean, throwing out a random Link Breaker like doesn't really do much. I gotta discard not... I need to make it not so obvious that I'm holding up something. Ugh. I mean, it's going to be obvious regardless. Like, I was thinking about discarding a 2-drop, but then they're never going to believe that I only have 2-drops. If they don't get... They cycle a Sheltering Landscape. Interesting. If they can't get First Strike, okay, that's perfect. They can attack, but Scarblade's Malice is actually going to do something here. It's going to get Death Touch. Since they didn't get First Strike, they're going to trade, and I'm going to get a 2/2 out of the deal, which is pretty good. This keeps us alive for a little bit and gives us time to find another land for the Marauder if they get a second creature. We do take 8 damage, although I gain 1, but that was pretty good for us. Even having to discard a card. Okay, Fear of Lost Teeth. I think I play the Shambler now, because it's good with the stamina. If they don't have a creature, obviously we could just win this off of what we have, but if they do have another creature, we're going to lose if we don't get another land. Or I guess theoretically maybe another Scarblade's Malice. They go for a 3rd Rumble, finds a Gladecover Scout, but they take Ethereal Armor, so they already have a creature, or they're going to go onto the spawn, maybe? Play a Landscape, play a Ledgewalker, and then the Armor. Yep, Swamp. Not a Swamp. So we could just be dead to the Ledgewalker next turn. I can't do much about that, because I don't even have the choice to play the Marauder. Yeah, and then we don't have any way to block it. So I'll just play a Beetle in case we don't die, and then I get the Marauder to kill this. Then, like, the Beetle gets some counters, but, I mean, if they have, like, an Ancestral Mask, pretty sure that would kill us. It'd be +7. Armadillo Cloak, Rancor, that's 10. It's not lethal. If they don't play another creature and we get a Swamp here, we could be okay. Give me a Swamp. Nope, they have the Gladecover Scouts. It doesn't matter. We didn't get a Swamp anyway. That's really unfortunate. The Scarblade's Malice did do some pretty cool work there. We get another Marauder and we get Fiends. And we get Drowned in Sorrows. Fear of Lost Teeth doesn't matter. Scarblade's Malice does matter and is good enough to keep. Statistically, it can be decent. We just get rid of some Link Breakers. Alright, 4 land. Scarblade's Malice, which could be good if they don't get First Strike. Infestation Sage could also block a Solana Ledgewalker. I'm gonna keep it. Obviously, it's not very good, but this is one of the matches where, with the right draw, we can be faster than them, but it's one of the few decks that can also race us that I think it's okay to keep a slower hand. Now, this is not a very good slower hand, I will admit, but we're trying. Shambler and just pass. There's a Ledgewalker and a Rancor. I'm just going to pass here. I could Village Rites this, but then they know that I have a way to sack it and, like, block their guy. Whereas if I do it at instant speed, then I can maybe catch them more off guard. Just going to play another Shambler and pass. They have a Utopia Sprawl. I just need them to not get First Strike. That's the big thing. Malevolent Rumble finds a Mask of Law and Grace, protection from black and from red. Oh, never mind. I also need them to not get Mask of Law and Grace. Of course. Yep, because now I can't block with the Insect, which is unfortunately black and green. Abundant Growth. So now I have to find a Drown in Sorrow to be able to kill this. They didn't attack. That's interesting. I'm going to sack a Shambler. Because if I find the Drowning Star, which is what I'm looking for, the Shamblers are going to, like, then I could at least keep the insect around. I don't know. Mesmeric Fiend, now that I just used my sack outlet, is good. Okay, Carrion Feeder. That's something. They have protection from black, so I could attack in, but I still get in for 2. Might as well. Well, it feels like they didn't have anything to make it enormous last turn, but maybe they were worried about the Scarblade's Malice again, so I still think I am just going to play the Mesmeric Fiend and hope to take something decent here. They'll block the Shambler. Probably makes sense, so we can't stamina it. Hit for 2. Fiend. Take something away. Yeah, Ethereal Armor and Rancor. It's got to be the armor because I need its toughness to be low enough to kill with the Drowning Sorrow. Ethereal Armor is obviously also just way more damage, so Scarblade's Malice just does not matter. Let's play this and pass. Oh yeah, this guy also just blocks the feeder now if they want to go on the defensive. That's annoying. Rancor and another one. 7-1, black and from red. I guess if I had a squirrel back, then I could hold them back. But yeah, I figured they're probably not going to attack anyway. Swamp. So if I attack, they could block here. I could keep it alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then I get nowhere. And I don't do any damage or anything, so I guess we'll attack with these 2. Get in for 1 damage and make a flyer. Maybe we get a Rite of Consumption after a bit. I don't know. We just need to top deck better than they do. Looks like that's not going to happen. 15. We're dead next turn. We draw a Swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. I could maybe deal 9 damage if they didn't block and gain 9, and we still die. Well, that's pretty unfortunate. This is definitely a bit of a polarized match based on whether or not we draw a Cursed Marauder. If we had this time, we would have just won, but we've also been cutting the number of Cursed Marauders in our deck, so it's just a unfortunate side effect of that. Scarblade's Malice was decent, but unfortunately here did not help in this game. All right, we're on the play here, and hand doesn't look very good. I think we got a mulligan that. Obviously worse, and this one is decent. I think it's got to be the Malice we get rid of. Actually, in this situation, I almost want to get rid of the land. We have all 1-drops. Every card matters a lot. Yeah, I would say 90% of the time. We're also going to lead on the feeder because we kind of just need to hope for the best. If it gets bolted, we'll lose. Perfect. If we had drawn that land when we had put back like the Malice, we'd just be in a really bad spot. We're going to sack this to get an extra counter. 90% of the time when I mulligan even to 5, I will keep 2 lands because I think it's the right thing to do. But sometimes you have a hand that like, it's pretty decent with 1 land, pretty bad otherwise. They have the Kark. Do they just have the Toxin? Well, then we're going to lose no matter what. Let's just go to the next game. That's really annoying. Mulliganing to 5, already pretty brutal. Actually keeping an okay hand is kind of nice. And then, yeah, not so much. Scarblade's Malice, not what we need here. All right, this hand is okay. We have a feeder with a Fiend. And then we need some more fodder for these Village Rites. But they start with a Spell Bomb. I'm just going to Fiend and see what I can take. Get rid of that turn 2 Krark. Oh, it looks like they're not even Jund, which is what I assumed. It looks like they're more like Rakdos artifacts. They have the Toxin. I think we just got to get rid of that. Everything else I'm not too worried about. And if they get a Krark, the Toxin is going to probably lose us the game again. Drew a Wellspring. That's pretty lucky. We're going to Village Rites the Sage. Hope to hit a land. Didn't hit a land. We got some decent cards. Sadistically could be good, although I'm expecting them to be running some decent removal. Play a Refurb. I think we discard a Feeder. Feeder's the least helpful in our hand right now, but of course if they get a Cast Down, it's going to be more helpful. Stamina. Hand is awkward. I think I'm going to Sadistically on the Insect, and then Fear of Lost Teeth to pick off this Refurb, which they could Insight, but then they're not inciting the Wellspring at least. And we get in for 5. Yep, they're going to Insight the Wellspring. Alright, we get in for 6 because we killed their guy as well. Nice. Now if they have a Krark, we at least have a flyer. If they have a Cast Down, unless they have 2 Cast Downs, we have one guy who lives on. If they just play a Pack Doll, we can just, well, if we can kill it, if we can kill something, then we can Tragic Slip it. So I would love fodder. Perfect. Actually, let's see. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, if they don't block, we can just win the game, actually. If they do block, I can just kill their guy. Stamina on the Fear. And then every time we sack this, we get 2 counters, but we also deal them a damage. Oh, actually, they can Spell Bomb us. Yeah, okay, that was actually a minor mistake. Well, they go down pretty low anyway. They go to 2. I did forget about the Spell Bomb. We'll see if I lose because of it. In which case, I probably should have just played that guy and Tragic Slipped the Terror instead of doing the Stamina. I go for an Offering on the Spell Bomb. I mean, that's a pretty good sign that we'll be okay anyway. They go up to 4 here. I guess if they have an untapped, like a Vault of Whispers and then a Refurb, that's pretty decent. They'd go up to 6, but I still get to Tragic Slip the Refurb. Oh, Great Furnace. Galvanic Blast. So I just sack the feeder to itself, so I grow the insect. It doesn't die, and then I fly over for 5. Nice. All right, made a couple mistakes there, but overall wasn't too bad. Definitely just some Rakdos Affinity control stuff. This hand has some interaction, but no pressure. Oh my god. This hand has a tiny bit of pressure, I guess. No double body fodder. I feel like I have to keep it on 6. No, this doesn't do enough, I don't think. This one's pretty bad too. In fact, probably worse, because we don't have a grower, but whatever. They play a Spell Bomb, we play an Infestation Sage. They duress us, and now the hand is just trash. Swing for 1. I mean, they correct their Spell Bomb, so they're looking for something. Probably lands. 3 mana Refurb, gets rid of Swamp. We draw a Beetle. Swing for 2. They block the Fear of Lost Teeth. Interesting. We'll play a Beetle, even though it just dies to a Kark or whatever. They have nothing? Don't tell me I somehow have a chance here. We'll swing for 2. We'll play an Infestation Sage. I should probably play the Swamp, because if they do get a Refurb, I probably want to have at least 3 lands on board. Okay. Carrion Feeder. They have a Toxin Analysis. Sure. That's pretty funny. They're just cycling it, obviously, but they had to do it pre-combat, otherwise I could sack in response. That actually gains us a life, which is not that relevant, but it is kind of funny. No, I guess if they get a Refurb, I'd rather they don't draw a card. I can play just about anything. Well, I can play anything for 2 mana, so if they just pass again, then I can sack Sage and hit for 8. They have another Spell Bomb, and they have a Kark. So we're just going to sacrifice now at least once, because they need to be 2/2s so that I can like let them have a trigger resolve so their guy dies and then grow it more. But I guess, yeah, we'll just leave it there, I think. If they don't have Toxin, then they can just do 3. Oh, okay. They could sacrifice 3 artifacts, but I would lose a Feeder or a Beetle, but I'd keep the other one as a 4/4. No, actually, I could keep them both. I just have to sack an insect. Apparently, their hand was as bad as ours. I mean, we saw that it didn't play out very well, because I thought our hand was garbage and would never have won a game, but they did not have a very good game either, so we end up getting there. All right, here we are, round 5. This hand is... it's interesting. We have the Scarblade's Malice, Fear of Lost Teeth combo, finally. We have basically nothing else. I mean, we have a lot of removal, actually, because that could be removing 1 or 2 creatures, depending. Curse Marauder can remove a creature. We'll give it a try, because we have a Village Rites, too, and I want to see this combo in action. Right. They're on Esper Gates. So the Death Touch doesn't even matter that much. I guess we're just going to pass here. They play Outlaw Medic. I can Accursed Marauder that, or I could right now Scarblade's Malice. I guess we're just doing this, and then Village Rites it. So it Death Touches down the Outlaw Medic, and makes us a 2/2, and we draw 2. Another Scarblade's Malice. I mean, that wasn't terrible. Not gonna say it was the best thing ever, but Linkbreaker, Village Rites it. See if we get like a Carrion Feeder. Perfect. 2 of them. You got a Basilisk Gate. There's a cat. Cast Down. No. Lembas. All right. Nested Shambler. I'd love to keep Shambler around for like a stamina, but I kind of think we just start growing this Feeder. So I pump here. I could kill their cat. The Marauder. It's probably fine. Sure. Sack the Shambler. Kill their guy. Play a Feeder. Swing for 3. And we have a Scarblade's Malice for something. I don't think it's very good in this matchup because most of their creatures are pretty weak anyway. Journey to Nowhere. Okay, takes 1 Feeder away, which we can sack to the other one. So unless they can kill the other one, it's not too big of a deal, but they could just have a cast down for it. I think that's what the black is for in this new Esper Gates. Ooh, another Carrion Feeder. We'll play that and just attack with everybody. All right. I mean, this is a tough matchup for them in general because we can chump block their life flinkers and stuff and sack so they don't gain a life, but yeah. That was a decent start off of, I mean, what looked to be not the best hand ever, but ended up being decent. We get Reunions, Spell Bombs, and I think Mesfiends. I don't know if they're going to be playing Prismatic Strands in this version. Marauder can go for sure. I'm sorry to say that the Scarblade's Malices can go. We did see them do a little bit of work there, but in general, the Death Touch, it's not a match where we need life gain. It's not a match where we need Death Touch. And, I mean, I guess we can Death Touch down one of their guys after it's been pumped, but it just doesn't seem very necessary. And so, get rid of some Sages here. The Fear of Lost Teeth obviously can be decent still just by themselves, because they can pick off Sacred Cats and Squadron Hawks and the like. Alright, we have another 1-lander, but it looks pretty decent. So we're going to give it a try. Fiend definitely makes me want to start with a Feeder to Fiend on turn 2, but no guarantee we'll hit that land drop, so not going to do that. I guess I wasn't even looking to see if they had blue spells. They might just be Orzhov Gates. Not 100% sure. We'll attack with the Linkbreaker. They're going to block. Do I want to let that go? No, we don't have that much fodder. So let's just sacrifice it. They called our bluff. And we didn't hit a land. Roll of Khazad-dûm. Okay, I definitely feel like maybe they're just Orzhov. I think we get rid of the Vampire. Feeders are probably better here. Not with a Rite of Consumption. Potentially not against a Journey to Nowhere. I guess we'll get rid of 1 Carrion Feeder. Play a Heap Gate. No attacks. We get a Spell Bomb. Great. So I could go for the Village Rites, try to hit our land drop. Or I could just play a Carrion Feeder. If we don't hit the land drop, we probably lose. Because we also have to discard 2 cards. That's really bad. Or I could just play a Feeder and we're okay. Could also play a Beetle. No. That's fine. Let's play a feeder and just pass. They're going to make a treasure. Guardian of the Guild Pact. That's what I wanted to Mesmeric Fiend away. I mean, that's one of them. So perfectly getting the swamp right after that. Okay, well, I could Mes Fiend, but I think we probably want to get the most out of our Mortician Beetle here. So I think we play that first, and then I just hold up Village Rites, or I could play a Spell Bomb. I think I hold up Village Rites. We can still win with a Rite of Consumption, but it's looking tough because we can't chump block the Guardian at all. Although they're probably going to hold it back. I mean, if they want to attack for 2, that's fine. But they're probably going to hold it back until they have the Basilisk Gate. But then once they have that, it's probably only going to be 1 or 2 turns. Okay, they are going to attack. We will take it. Village Rites, the Mercenary to draw 2. Stamina and Shambler. Okay. I guess we're doing that. Attacking. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to have. I feel like Prismatic Strands, sure, maybe. I'm a little worried. Stamina here, then Sacrifice. I guess they could have Thraben Charm to exile the Shambler from the graveyard, but we still get 3 squirrels, so that's not the end of the world. Prismatic Strands would obviously prevent them from losing their guy, or any of this from dying, or them from taking any damage, but that's fine too. We're just going to try to deal this. Okay, we get the cat. We're just making more treasures. I'm scared. Insight a treasure, sure. Troll cycle for a swamp. They need more mana, I guess. They do Journey to Nowhere, probably going to take the Fiend, sack it to itself. That's fine, because I think my goal here in the next couple turns is to play a Vampire and then maybe go for a Rite of Consumption, but if they never tap out, that's going to be pretty scary. Oh, Cauldron Familiar. Okay, interesting. They didn't reanimate the Sacred Cat. It feels like they have a Prismatic Strands. I guess we need to Fiend them first, so yeah, the goal is Vampire, then Fiend next turn, and then Rite of Consumption. If I play a Spell Bomb, actually I could Spell Bomb. We don't get a card, but I take away Cat and Eviscerator's Insight. I think that's worth it. Like, Cat's pretty big, and 2 cards is pretty good, too. And our game plan is pretty set here, I think. Like, if we get a land, we can Fiend, and if the coast is clear, Rite of Consumption in the same turn. I haven't even done the math. I don't think I quite have lethal off of the Vampire. I definitely don't, but we're getting there. Well, another Insight. Fair enough. Oh, they could have a Suffocating Fumes right now, or an Armus of Adar. Yep, unfortunate. I mean, we still get to keep our Vampire and a big Beetle. No reason to let the Shambler die because it would make no squirrels, so we'll sacrifice it too. I mean, now if they have a Journey to Nowhere for the Beetle, we're in a pretty tough spot. Hoping that doesn't happen, obviously. Cast down, same difference. And then a Nutrient Block. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, well now I'm not even sacking the Fiend to a Vampire. I'm just sacking it to the Village Rites. Draw 2, exile a card from their hand. Arms of Adar and Lembas. Lembas is decent. Arms is really bad, though. I mean, right now I can just kill a Vampire. That's not that big of a deal. But yeah, let's take the Arms. Second Rite of Consumption. Probably not going to be the best unless I get another Beetle. Flashback Eviscerator's Insight. I was hoping they were going to leave that there so I could Rotten Reunion it away and just play their Lembas, but alas, they're smarter. There's a cat, gate, swing for 2. Well, we are now casting another Fiend, sacrificing it, and I guess Lembas draws them the card first. They have a Basilisk Gate in hand. Pretty bad. Swing for 3. If they chump with either of them, I get to Rotten Reunion, but they don't. Gate, pump on the Guardian, so we're dead next turn. Probably Nutrient Block. Yeah, I mean, it was just we were stuck on mana, but the board wipe into single target removal was brutal. If they don't block one of these, I could hit for 7 and then Rite of Consumption for 7. They go to 2, but that's not going to do it. Plus they're going to block with the Familiar. I guess we'd pass here. I mean, we're dead. Sack a block, pump on the Guardian, Journey to Nowhere, then they can attack, and I can only block one of their cats, so we die. Yeah, we were stuck on 1 mana for 4 turns. I guess we need the Accursed Marauders in here for the Guardian, unfortunately. Maybe we cut Sadistically. I'm not seeing any Prismatic Strands, so Sadistically is less important, but they do have Journey and Cast Down, so it feels like that's tough. The fact that they have Journey and Cast Down means they probably don't need the Prismatic Strands as much. They also don't have many ways to discard cards like Modern Age, which means that the discarding isn't as relevant. So I think all of that means they probably won't have a Prismatic Strands. This hand is okay. We're going to keep it. It goes all in on Vampire, which could be bad, but hopefully we get some other nice cards. Village Rites isn't bad. I think I just gotta do Vampire, and if they can't kill it right away, we can maybe get in for some decent damage. They do seem to be playing a lot more basics than your average Coggates. So that's something to note. Play a Link Breaker, and I guess there's no reason to swing with that. Swing. I'll sack a Link Breaker so that we can hit for a little bit and not be as all in later, and also so I can grow the Shambler here. Usually I would go for a Village Rites on the Link Breaker to try to hit our land drop. Feels like maybe I wait and then I chump block with it, or if they try to like kill the Vampire, I do it then. I don't know. Well, we're gonna Village Rites it now. I do want the 2 Mercenaries so I can pump up the Shambler. He didn't hit the land, so it doesn't doesn't matter. Now we hit the land. I think I want to just clear the cat with the Fear of Lost Teeth. We also want a Carrion Feeder and a Shambler. So with 2 Fears of Lost Teeth, I feel like being able to make sure the cat doesn't block is just pretty easy. So then we force the Outlaw Medic to block, and then I attack here. If they block with the Outlaw Medic, I can sack the Shambler. Either way, I probably sack the Shambler, because I want to get those squirrels. If they have like Death Touch, I don't know why they would, but then I guess they get me. But no, they just go for the chump. Probably just worried about lethal because, yeah, I could have dealt them 18 more damage there. That definitely would have been lethal. Nice. Well, if they Suffocating Fumes us, we do get to keep a big feeder. It's not the end of the world. Still not good. Same with Arms of Adar. Bring back the cat. That's fine. Duress is fine if they have that. Cauldron Familiar, sure. So they could have a cast down. Okay, we do get to clear both of these then, which means they die unless they have a cast down. Well, if I decide to go all in, which I probably don't. Yeah, but let's play Fear of Lost Teeth and then Marauder. So I'm not going to actually Shambler with the Mercenaries this turn, but that's probably fine. Marauder sacks the Fear, making them sack the Cauldron Familiar, and then I ping off the Sacred Cat. And if all they have here is like a Fanatical Offering, then we win. Yeah. Eviscerator's Insight, because I can definitely deal 18 damage there. Very nice. All right, we end up with a 4-1. Pretty risky. Not risky. It was pretty close there in the end. Well, surprisingly, the only match that we used the Scarblade's Malice to like great effect was actually against Bogles, and that was the match where we lost because we were only playing 1 Cursed Marauder in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard. Some decks, including my main stock list, runs 2 in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard, some run 2 in the sideboard. The fewer Marauders you play, the worse your Bogles matchup is. So if you're in a meta where Bogles is very popular, or if it's very popular online at the moment, definitely play a full play set. I think it's not that popular at the moment, so I've been playing fewer. And obviously, when you do go up against that match, it's going to be, you're going to suffer a little bit. But Scarblade's Malice was cool. We definitely used it for Death Touch that one time. We also used it on our Fear of Lost Teeth to Death Touch down the Outlaw Medic, which was kind of cool. The 2/2s are pretty relevant. A 2/2 is a lot bigger than a 1/1. In fact, I would say twice as big. It just attacks a lot better, as we saw against the Fog matchup. When we made 2/2s, we ended up losing that game, but attacking for 4 between those 2 creatures was actually pretty relevant. So it does a lot of cool things. We didn't end up playing against a burn match where the lifelink was super relevant. I think this is probably not quite going to make the cut for like the best version of the deck. Ergo, my stock list is probably not going to include it, but it is a pretty cool card and I don't think fully terrible. So if you want to give it a try, I say go for it. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my supporters, including my $10 and up monthly supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD NPX, Adam Cadmon, Ample Beta Pi, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you all next time.